Welcome to Cage Minds. This is Micah Frankel, and we got a great one for you today. I am joined by Ronnie Glass, going to be making BKFC debut in his backyard in Virginia. BKFC 51. I appreciate you taking some time this evening to join me to talk about the upcoming endeavor. Thank you, sir. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm feeling good.
Feeling good, looking like you're happy right now. So
Yeah.
everything's doing good
Oh
in
yeah.
camp, good in life.
Man, camp is going excellent. Life is going very well. So I got no complaints. I'm just ready to get in that square circle, I guess you would call it, and get busy.
That's what I've been calling it for the last
Yeah,
year.
square
Well, I've
circle,
been kind
Well,
of the
in the Roman time, that's how the boxing ring started out. That's the whole point of them calling the ring. So I thought it was just like cool that they started making an actual ring out of an actual ring, how it started in Rome. So I thought that was amazing.
I think that it's cool that bare knuckle came up with its own unique battleground because we know from
It did.
boxing to MMA,
Yep.
there's a
Yep.
very big difference, but there's no kind of in between. So this is something to really separate themselves and give them that kind of, notoriety.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, for sure. And I think there's going to be a couple of leagues that's going to do this. I believe there's going to be a few other bare knuckles that step up, and they're going to have like something unique. Like for instance, like the other one. Like I don't know if I can say it right now, but the other bare knuckle fighting that they do. How they have it shaped like a what is that? Like a triangle almost.
Well, you got
And
the company with a
I thought that was pretty
triangle.
cool.
You got a
Yeah.
company with a triangle, and then I don't know if you've seen the other company. They have a V in their name, and they don't even have like a plat. They just find like a platform kind of. I'll send you some links
Man,
in
please.
social
Yeah, I
media.
love to check that out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Valor. There's been one Valor event
Valor.
before, and I don't think they have
Uh-huh.
ropes. They just kind of fought on a mat. Yeah, yeah. So
Get
you
out
go
of
down,
here.
you go
Yeah, I like to check that out.
right. What got you though into wanting to check this out? A very successful boxing career that you're in the middle of, and just did the opportunity come to you? Did you check out the sport? How does it go from the ring to the squared circle to the gloves to no gloves?
Well, it started back in December 2022, I believe, and I was watching. I don't know if it was a rerun, but I was watching Lorenzo Hunt fight bare knuckle, and we were at the beach. We were in South Carolina. That's where we celebrate Christmas every year, and I'm watching Lorenzo Hunt do bare knuckle, and it was just like turning so many gears for me, knowing that you can't do bare knuckle unless you're mentally and physically tough. And I know that's what I am. So I'm like, I need to be in the bare knuckle. I need to at least try the bare knuckle. And my coach, Randy, got on me like, look, Ronnie, like your boxing career is going well. They're offering you thousands of dollars to fight. And I'm just like, look, man, the money don't mean nothing right now. I gotta get into BKFC. The money, I'm not gonna disclose my purse, but I've been offered boxing matches this entire year, like 10 times worth more than my purse. But it's not about the money. It's more so about the legacy of jumping into the BKFC now. I don't want to jump into BKFC when it starts to jump off, like really blow up. I want to get in right now with the nitty gritty and make a name for myself.
So when you see Lorenzo Hunt, what was the
I love that
first
guy.
what was the
The,
first steps for you to make this thought become a reality?
when I first seen Lorenzo Hunt, I was like, yo, if there is anybody in the BKFC that I want to fight, it's him. And it's not because I feel like I can beat him. It's more so of an honor thing. Like, I don't know what type of mind frame you have or that you can relate with, but when you see somebody who can fight really good, you want to fight them. But I'm sorry, ask that question again. I think I got off track.
What was the first step that you took after
Uh-huh.
you're like, okay, I might want to do this? What was the first step to actually making the connection and getting this contract and this pathway?
Well, I call my trainer first because he has a few bare knuckle fighters, which is I want to say Kendall and Brian Maxwell. So I called him and asked him about getting in, and he made a couple of calls in which I'm not gonna lie, I believe they kind of put him on the back burner because I don't think they felt as if how serious I was. So I got with Britton Hart. Um, and Britton, because Britton's, I think she's from Danville. I know she's trained here for years. Like me and her used to train with the same trainer. We've been knowing each other for years. So I got with her and she told me who to get with. I got with them. I was kind of put on the back burner again because I don't think they really think fighters are really that serious in getting into BKFC. So the entire year of 2022, and from until 23 came around, I'm just like constantly trying to get into BKFC. And finally, Ryan Perez with Slaughterhouse Guerrilla Warfare was throwing a BKFC trials, and I went down there with them, and I did my thing. Like I'm not gonna say I don't want to brag, but I will say that like I hurt majority of the guys that I was sparring with ease. So I think then I got signed to the management team, and that was it.
So just a little humble brag there. We're not asking you to
Just a
be
little
humble
bit,
here.
not nothing major, nothing major, nothing major at all, man.
At that point, did you have any conversation with them? Like, I've been trying to reach out. I've been trying to do this.
I
I
did.
had to let you guys know I'm here.
I did. I was like, hey man, like, listen, I've been blowing you up, been sending you messages back to back. Brent told me to get with it. He was like, oh, that's you that was in my inbox. And I was like, yeah, because he was leaving me on red. And Ryan know he was. But I understand because I know what it's like having a bunch of fighters tell you that they want to fight, but they really don't want to fight. And so, we drove all the way to Atlanta. Um, and the rest was history.
And what has it been like now working on this transition, going from boxing to working on the intricacies of bare knuckle?
It's been rigorous. Like the training has been a lot different. Like I do old school training anyway for getting ready for fights. But I was told by my cousin Chris, because he's actually a street bare knuckle fighter. Like him and his friends would just get together and they would just straight fist fight. Not they don't really have any technique at all, just like a bunch of rough and tough guys. And he was telling me to, cut wood, throw your gloves on, hit the trees, make sure you're running, make sure you're training outside, make sure you're getting the earth, like feeling the earth, doing a lot of impact training. And then training with Brian Maxwell too, with the grappling and how to get out of the grappling, and working with Kendall as well. Kendall, and just like working with those guys has been amazing. Even with Brenton Hart, like giving me a lot of pointers on how to get out of clinches and how to throw punches in clinches has been amazing. So the training has been rigorous. The transformation has been rigorous, but I got to say it's nothing new.
Well, how much different or kind of eye-opening compared to what you expect has the sport been from looking at it from the outside?
Um, it's not that much of a difference. I would give it like maybe a 15% difference. Like having no gloves on has been different. When we spar with no gloves on, I'm not foreign to it, but just like in a more of a controlled environment, it felt I'm not gonna lie, I felt invincible almost. Because I felt much faster. I felt like stronger. I felt like I could throw my punches with a lot more veracity than I normally could. Veracity. And it's pretty much it.
Has there been any awkwardness getting used to the lack of the gloves, the changing of the defense, we're gonna rustle and tussle in here and got to deal with, they're not gonna break us up to keep the action going?
For sure. Like when I first did the bare knuckle sparring and I got grabbed, I was like, whoa. I didn't know what to do, but I'm used to throwing punches, so I just started swinging. And that's when my trainer jumped in and was like, "We're not going to do that. This is what you do." So, so he put me together well, and so I feel like I'm comfortable enough now to either fighting the inside or outside, inside the grappling, outside the grappling, bare knuckle.
Was there
So I feel pretty comfortable.
was there a biggest part that you felt was the hardest transition or hurdle to get over?
No. Mm-mm. None, because I mean I've been boxing for going on 20 years now. I've been fighting, and and you know, it's going in the ring knowing that you know nothing opens your mind up so much that you can learn so much faster. Like you learn faster when you get rid of that stubborn attitude. Like I'm training with guys who haven't been training half as long as I've been training and fighting. And they're giving me pointers. And I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm listening, I'm taking it in because again, I know nothing. Regardless of all the experience I have, I tell myself I know nothing so I can learn everything.
Has your style been able to translate over? Do you feel like you still got parts of your foundation within this bare knuckle style?
Yes, my style is actually made for this style. And, but there is something that we've been working on that isn't handicapped, which I won't disclose that right now. But but yeah, my style is made for bare knuckle, and that's another reason why I was so eager to get into the BKFC.
Eager to get here, and I'm still amazed. How hard was that to really 20 years of boxing, one singular focus and dream in that sport, and then to kind of put that on the back burner right now to jump into this one. How hard of a conversation and a reality was that for you?
It was seconds. It didn't take me more than 1 minute to 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 become comfortable with going into the BKFC and even saying to myself, like, this is what I want to do. You know, like me and my friends and my cousins, family members, and we were young, but you know, we would meet up right after we get off the bus and we would just fist fight, you know, just to see who was the toughest, you know, who was the strongest, who was the fastest. A couple of things happened to me in my life that led me to down the wrong path. And I'm just gonna say boxing is what saved me. But I always miss that no gloves, just throwing hands, you know, just like real men fighting, you know, and not to say it like I embrace violence or not to say like it's an ego thing. It's more so of like a warrior mentality. It's like this is what we're here for. You know, like I feel like this is where I'm great at. You know, I don't have any brain injuries. I don't have any injuries at all as long as I've been doing this. So it's like I'm physically and mentally built for this.
Being built for this, we saw that with the six knockouts on your professional record, with everything that you've done in that sport. You transition over, and I think you have to give up though on the thought of the opportunity of fighting Jake Paul. Is that one that you let go of? Because I don't think we're getting him to take off the gloves, and I've seen that he was the target of some of your call outs.
He was a target of mine. I actually have a lot of respect for Jake Paul, but unfortunately, in this business, being respectful doesn't get you in the door. Like you know, so you know, I made a couple of videos which got thousands of views, but like no call outs. Of course, I reached out to his manager. My manager, Randy Witcher, had actually reached out to them and he got a response back, but he had already knew that he was going to be fighting Anderson Silva, in which we didn't leak that information. But I did make a video on my YouTube saying that the guy that he's going to fight, he's going to beat. Because, you know, back to the question, I think I could still fight Jake Paul. I mean, if possible, if that fight ever became an opportunity, and I would take it, you know. And it's not more so, it's not a money grab. Don't get me wrong. I would love to get paid for that. But it's more so to say, like, you can't just step into this world of boxing and fight who you know you're going to beat when it comes down to like the way that you present yourself to the world of boxing, because we know that you have to fight certain fighters to build your record up, you know, and so we know that, but it's just like carrying around that snobby attitude of like of cockiness that you can beat Tommy Fury. We all knew Jake Paul wasn't going to beat Tommy Fury. We didn't expect him to knock him down, but we all knew he wasn't going to beat Tommy Fury. We knew he was going to beat Anderson Silva. We knew he was going to beat Jake Paul. If you watch my videos months before he even fought these people, I was telling people that, you know, he might knock Nate Diaz out, and I know he's going to probably knock out Jake Paul, Anderson Silva, in which he did. Well, he didn't knock him out, but he knocked him down. But we knew that he wasn't going to beat Hasim Rahman. We knew he wasn't going to beat Junior. But of course, that fight didn't happen because they didn't sell enough tickets. and I'll put that on Hasim's team, of course. Their management team, I don't think was just prepared for that type of that type of marketing. There's no way they could handle that.
You said earlier that you don't want to promote violence. I've seen on some of your social media a man of peace these days. How do you get through that with having a profession, though, that is in a violent nature?
When I started off boxing, I started off from coming from a violent nature into boxing. And as I got into boxing, it made me less violent, but more dangerous. And it's like the more violent you are, you can't really be as as dangerous in that ring as you want to be. Like you'll make a lot of mistakes. You'll fire off a rage instead of thinking like water, like moving smooth and staying clear in your mind. So I mean, don't get me wrong. I may not be a man of violence, but I'll embrace it in a heartbeat. If it's ever brought to me. So I don't know, man. It's just like living in violence so long, it changes your perspective of things. You don't want that no more. I live a completely different lifestyle. You know,
Living a different lifestyle, but now going into bare knuckle, we got to get around to it. The debut, Joseph Greer, he comes in with a wealth of experience. You have all of this experience in boxing, and he has about 12 fights in MMA. He's done Muay Thai, bare knuckle, even has a handful of boxing fights. What do you think about this challenge for your debut in the sport?
I think Career is the perfect person for me to fight first because I think he's going to be the person that they want me to prove myself against. Excuse me, to prove myself against because he's not a slouch. He's very experienced and he's tough, and he may very well want to use this opportunity to stamp his name in the BKFC by beating me. So this I know he's coming with it, but it's like regardless of what he's coming with, like I'm just coming harder. Like, like it's like I have to my name has to be inserted in the BKFC. And coming in and fighting and doing my absolute best is all we're doing. It's the only thing we're doing. We're coming in there and we're fighting. We're giving it our all. So training has been rigorous for Joseph, and it's pretty much it on that end. I know he's coming with the pain, and so are we.
It's always going to be a talking point when he fights. 6'4".
Oh,
You're
oh,
5'8". They're going to bring up the height, the reach, and you haven't get inside. But 20 years and you've been 5'8", most of them.
I don't know if you know this fighter, but I have been training with Joe Cusimano 15 of the 20 years. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's about, I think Joe's about 6'3", 6'4", and working with him has been like it's like training against a horse. It's like fighting a horse, and he's not pulling any punches. Now, don't get me wrong, Joe's not trying to decapitate me, but like he's not pulling any punches. And we work. We put in really good work together. So I mean, like having Joe around has been amazing for me. Like I feel like it's been a blessing. Working with Brian Maxwell has been a blessing. So him being 6'4" may very well be a disadvantage for him.
You're used to that. Are you going to be used to the affair and the fanfare and the love that you're going to get there making this debut in front of your hometown people?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I mean, like I've been doing it for so long, like fighting hometown, fighting out of town, fighting in someone else's backyard, like the lights, like all that's the same, and really the lights, the fans, the haters, I guess you would say, they don't exist. The only people that's gonna exist is me and him. And that's it. So it doesn't really even matter. It doesn't matter how I feel about it. All that matters is how I perform.
And the last thing I got to touch on before I let you go is I saw on your
Okay.
Instagram, it says, wherever I go, the fire follows, and you're jumping over the fire. It feels like there's some real intensity there, getting some attention towards yourself.
Yes, and that's another thing. Like a large everything that you see me do on Instagram is only half of what I do in real life. But my wife, she brought it to me. She like, you need to start showing people what you do, because I'll light a fire and I'll shadow box in the fire and I'll hit the fire, of course, and let it hit my knuckles, move my fist back fast as I can, working out in front of a fire pit for an hours, literally going in the country and chopping down little trees and cutting up the wood. And whenever you see me doing those videos where I'm like chopping wood, that's for my children's fire pit. They love the fire pit. They love to come outside and see me cut the wood. So, I'm their hero, man. So it's like, they want to see that. So, we just post and we record our life and then we post. If you notice, I haven't been recording lately that much because like a lot of the trainings, a lot of the time is spent in training.
How excited are you for this new chapter? Because this is the beginning. This is the first time stepping into the ring as a bare knuckle boxer. So it's going to be the same old feeling in a brand new place.
It's going to be the same old feeling, a brand new place. And my excitement level, I gotta say, is a solid 10 out of 10. Like I'm excited, but I'm more focused on making sure that I do my job. I learn and I also capitalize on everything. Like that's the main thing, is just doing my job. Like everybody has a game plan until they get hit. We all know that we have 7 game plans, but at the end of the day, the number 1 game plan is to fight.
And you guys can see Ronnie Glass fight for the first time at BKFC September 29th. We're talking BKFC 51. Again, sir, I appreciate you. Thank you for taking some time to talk to me this evening.
Man, for sure, man. Hey, we'll do it again after the fight. Say bye-bye, Rambo. We'll say bye. He's a little shy. But yo, I appreciate you, man. Nice to meet you. And I'll make sure I share this whenever you post it up.
My pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Mine too. You have a good one.